This is the first of 2 parts. The next installment will be next month as long as I don't get a YouTube strike for posting this. Historical Papal Perspective on Communism, Socialism and Nihilism from the Encyclicals and Writings of the Popes 1730 to 1937. Christ admonished in Luke chapter 12 verses 56 and 57, "You hypocrites! You know how to judge the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not judge this time? But why even of yourselves do you not judge what is right? Judge what is right," surely could be leveled against all of humanity in these troubled times. Since the time of Christ, when he spoke these words of admonishment in order to forewarn mankind of the impending danger to the sanctity of the soul, evil forces have been at work to undermine the faith, these being socialism, Marxism or collective ownership, nihilism, anarchy or mob rule, and communism, Marxism-socialism, dialectical materialism, dictatorship of the proletariat, working class. The history of the papacy addressing the rising tide of socialism, nihilism and communism began with the Roman pontiffs Clement XII (1730–1740) and Benedict XIV (1740–1758), who warned of the secret societies that were cropping up. They unmasked the impious designs these clandestine groups were hatching in secret. However, as the spread of those evil principles were glorified under the title of philosophers, a certain unbridled liberty was assigned to man and a new law, so to speak, opposed the divine and natural law. Pope Pius VI (1775–1799) laid bare by public documents, the pernicious character and falsity of those principles and at the same time predicted the utter ruin to which the deluded multitudes were being hurled. Despite these admonitions, none proved to prevent these philosophies from taking root and gaining ground with the people and eventually obtaining ascendancy even in public decisions of government. The socialists, using the gospel itself, so as to deceive more readily the unwary, twisted it to their benefit. So strikingly at variance were their criminal teachings with the doctrine of Christ that through these machinations they tranquilized men into believing that all men were by nature equal, and hence they contended that neither honor nor respect was owed to public authority, nor any obedience to the laws. Eventually, Popes Pius VII (1800–1823) and Leo XII (1823–1829) excommunicated secret societies and again gave warning to the faithful of the perils that threatened them. In turn, Blessed Pius IX (1846–1878), by exhortation and encyclical letters addressed to bishops of the whole world, waged war against the iniquitous endeavors of these sects and furthermore even denounced by name the plague of socialism that was spreading throughout the world. Pope Leo XIII (1878–1903), in his encyclical letter Quod Apostolici Muneris, December 28, 1878, gave the following warning addressing the unbridled nature of the secret societies that they were preaching to the masses. The Church very fittingly warns the rulers, themselves, that the sovereign judge will call them to a strict and speedy account, and evoking the words of divine wisdom, she addresses them one and all in God's name. Give ear, you that rule the people and that please yourselves in multitudes of nations, for power is given you by the Lord and strength by the Most High, who will examine your works and search out your thoughts, for a most severe judgment shall be for them that bear rule. For God will not accept any man's person, neither will he stand in awe of any one's greatness, for he hath made the little and the great, and he hath equally care for all. Pope Pius XI (1922–1939) warned in his 1937 encyclical Divini Redemptoris, See to it, venerable brethren, that the faithful do not allow themselves to be deceived. Communism is intrinsically wrong, and no one who would save Christian civilization may collaborate with it in any undertaking whatsoever. Those who permit themselves to be deceived into lending their aid towards the triumph of communism in their own country will be the first to fall victims of their error. As such, Pope Pius XI was echoing the stance taken by his predecessors since the 19th century that communism was erroneous, against proper and social order, and incommensurate with the teachings of Christ.